They hear that.
Okay.
They hear that.
I think this table's got moved out a little more.
Yeah, I think it has too, because for some reason, there's people who want to move that door out of the way to get there. They don't realize that it's protecting their eyes.
Yeah,
Doing that, they don't understand.
yeah, why am I back here?
Right, and it's this bright light that's there. I mean, once they kind of get there, they kind of realize that.
Yeah. Should I turn off the dehumidifier now or wait?
Well, I mean, it's just doing its job. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll turn it off where you can.
Yeah, as long as we
As soon
remember.
as we,
I just noticed sometimes I don't think about it. I get used to it.
yeah.
What? You said you were shouting? Yeah, probably good. Oh, thank you.
Earlier.
Yeah.
No, I have time to get it.
Sandy,
Hey, how are you? Uh-oh, can you hear me, Charlie?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
I can.
I couldn't tell. It like it came on and then it didn't.
Just before we get started, I'm checking on Thursday morning. I'm not going to be here, and
I left my iPad right there.
Kathy's not going to be here.
Go home and get it.
Oh, okay.
So are you good for Thursday morning?
Let me grab, I'm yes, I mean, I'm like 99.9% go ahead and do it because I'm pretty sure I am.
Okay.
Morning, Cindy.
Good morning, Kathy. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
It's lovely outside.
You look bright and cheery, red.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you know, and the weather's cooled down a little. That's a good
Yeah,
thing.
I don't know what you call cool down, but it's still.
No, but it
90s.
has, Kathy. It's cooled down a little.
Well, that's good.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
So did you do anything interesting this weekend?
No.
Oh my God, Kathy, you and your husband are so stinking cute. It's like such a pleasure. I mean, you make me giggle, not at you, but you know, it's good. I'm not laughing I'm laughing because it makes me happy how y'all do, you know?
Well, he's sitting in here. He's enjoying listening to the cases.
And it's this case.
Well, they are interesting.
You know, where's Robert? Is he here?
he's restarting his internet.
Not on yet?
He sent a message that he has to restart his internet.
Okay.
Oh, I hate when that happens. No, remember, Charlie, don't be giving me those eyes, Charlie. I can still see them now. You forget. No, remember, I had to do that last Monday too. Mine was like it just I don't know, it didn't want to talk to y'all or something. I don't know, but I had to restart it. Okay.
We have a quorum, so let's go ahead and open the meeting.
I'm good with that.
Aransas County Appraisal Review Board. It is 8:29 a.m. on August the 24th. We have a quorum?
Sir Chairman, we do.
We have a quorum.
Kathy, what are you doing with that pen? You got it right by the
Oh,
camera.
sorry.
It looks like a big spear coming at us.
Just
I'm like,
playing with it,
oh my gosh.
clicking it on and off, that's all, waiting to write stuff down.
Yeah, he started the hearing.
Okay. Charlie, you ready for me to bring Ms. Baldery in?
What case are we doing?
1080, top of the list. And it's a phone, it's by phone.
Thank you.
All right, you ready for me to bring Ms. Baldery in?
Yeah, I guess we can. I was hoping Robert would log in, but let's go.
Ms. Baldery?
Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Charlie Powers. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm okay, I guess.
Okay. We have some administrative to take care of before we get to the meat of the matter. So just bear with me. I'll ask a couple of questions along the way. We're opening a hearing.
Okay.
We're opening a hearing on
Yeah.
case ID 2020-1080, account 34390. This hearing is being
Okay.
recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing your protest today. On the panel this morning is myself, Charlie Powers, Kathy Hoffman, and Cindy Duck. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The Comptroller's Office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today that may be accessed at the appraisal district office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. Survey is voluntary. We do appreciate if you take it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Do we have all of your evidence? Ms. Baldery,
Yes.
do we have all of your evidence?
I don't know if you do, but I have it wrote down here.
But did you send it in or?
I have it wrote down here.
Miss Baldery came last Friday, signed her affidavit, and said she had her evidence, just that she was going to talk about it and not have any written evidence submitted. Is that
Okay.
That's correct, right, Miss Baldery?
Yes.
Okay. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 4166F. I am signing to that effect, and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I am located in the state of Texas.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, physically located in Texas.
My name is Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I am witnessing Mr. Powers, Miss Hoffman, and Miss Duck's signatures via Zoom, and I am physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Now, Ms. Baldery, I'm assuming that you're under oath for the duration of this hearing since you signed the affidavit. Do you understand that?
Yes, and
Thank
may I say okay.
I have
I was-
another question. Do you hold an appraiser's license in the state of Texas?
Yes.
You do?
Wait a minute. I wear hearing aids. I was going to tell you to be, if you could be patient with me now. Can you repeat that?
Do you have an appraiser's license in the state of Texas?
No, oh, no, no, no.
I didn't think so, but I'm obligated to ask. Do you have the hearing procedures times chart that was sent out with your package?
Yes, I do.
Very good. Then you can see on the top there are two sets of columns, and you get to choose whether you speak first or the district speaks first. Which would you like to do?
Does it matter?
You have to pick.
Okay, let the district tell me what they think.
Okay. Ray, 5 minutes.
Yes, sir. Okay. Everybody, can y'all see the board okay?
No. I'm sorry, let me get it.
Not yet.
Ta-da, yay.
Yeah,
Now, Ken.
okay, all right. So, this value is this is a land value issue, value of 87,500. It looks, just looking at the front page there was a settlement offer made at 75,000. Yeah, I'm sure that was made in the last few weeks, just in phone conversations. So we'll look at a few sales here. Under protest are Q1 and Q2 sales and equity are both under protest. There was a land sale on Spring Lane, which is in the subdivision across from Palm Harbor out there by Porsche for 82,000 for a little bit more than half of the land. And then there was a land sale for 42,000 on Porsche for a fourth of the land. Let's see, there's a sale in Coastal Wildwood for a little less than half, 72,000, and a sale on Lamar Drive, also off of Porsche. The subject property is at 40 cents a square foot, and the lowest purchase per square foot price is 50 cents. Median equity value is 87,380. There was a fifth sale, I'm sorry, at 71 cents a square foot for less than half of the square footage. So an equity grid looks on Baldry and Jim Smokehouse Road show 87.5, 45 cents a square foot, 26 cents a square foot, 40 cents, 60, and 45 cents. That's all the district has.
Okay, so Miss Baldry,
Yes.
okay, you now have 2 minutes to cross-examine, and then you have, and 5 minutes to present, and so you've got 7 minutes, okay?
Well, my only concern is that they're pricing it with stuff over in Wildwood and stuff over by the bay, and Baldry Lane is a dead end road, and it's not very well taken care of. There's no water, no sewage, no mail service, no drainage system, down trees from Harvey, and it backs up to a trailer park, which is not very desirable. Anyway, I think it has a lot of downfalls.
Okay, and so
It hasn't been cleaned up since Harvey. It's just full of down trees, which, you know, and the water from the bypass over there, the way that bypass 35 is fixed, that water comes straight through Circle W and runs right across the land, that makes it more undesirable. But this is just some of the things that I noticed that, you know, would be a setback. And I asked them to let me go ahead and use it in ag. My grandson said I could come across his property, and they denied that. They wouldn't let me do that.
when you say come across can you explain that a little more? You said you could come across his property.
Yes.
I'm not understanding.
Yes, that was a 10-acre tract. And my grandson took 4, and it took part of it and built a house. And he said that I could run the cattle across the back of his property into the other. But they said no, they denied that.
Which side is the your grandson's property on?
It's on the side by mine, by my.
Oh, where the house is?
Yes, it's
Okay.
in
Where do you see
between
it now?
and the other 5 acres. The 5 acres we're talking about.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
And
you.
they could have went straight across there, and he had no problem with that. But I asked them, and they denied that.
You're saying you tried to apply for an ag exemption? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it was all in ag. It was all in ag. And when he acquired half of that, we had to pay a lot of, you know, back taxes and stuff for the ag. But we asked if we could just let the cattle go on in through the back of his over to the 5 acres, which would have been no problem. But they denied that. They wouldn't let me use it.
Who's they? The city? County?
I guess it was a county. Whoever I talked to.
They denied it as far as putting a valuation on your property, or
No, they would. Apparently, they wouldn't let her put cattle there to transfer from both properties. That's my understanding.
but she's out in the county. You can have cattle out there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I understand that.
I have cattle out here. I have nine head on the property out here.
Are you currently have 9 head of cattle on your property?
On my property, yes, 19 acres. I have 9 head of cattle on it.
Okay.
Okay, and so you've got the cattle, but so it isn't on your property that they won't
I
let
have
you.
cattle on 19 acres, and then there was 10 acres. It was divided, and my grandson built a house on 4 point something up toward my 19 acres. That left the other 5 acres vacant, and he said that I could run my cattle on the back of it, but they denied that. They wouldn't let me use it. It was in ag, and then they took it out of ag and put this high price value on it, which is, I think, which to me seems unfair. It's got a
But I think that's another piece of property. I don't think that's your piece of property that we're talking about right now, right? Because we're talking about the 1434 Baldery Lane.
You're talking about 5 acres, right?
Roy, can you help me here a little? I don't think so. I think we're
It's
talking.
full of down trees from Harvey. It's just a mess over there.
Wait, Roy,
Is it the property marked in blue? That property. Okay, that's
Appraisal
it.
District, help us here a little. Is how many acres is that right there?
5.
Right.
Oh, that is 5. So that is the 5 acres that she can't, I don't know what's going on as far as,
It's the 5 acres that they took out of ag and wouldn't let me use it in ag anymore. And they put the high priced tag on it for, for being in the city. They put the high priced tag on it for the taxes.
What year did they do that? Can you tell us that, Roy? It was last year. It was at 87.5. What was it in 17?
hello?
Hang on.
Are you checking that?
I tried to do something here about it and they wouldn't let me.
Okay.
While you're looking at that, can you see if she has an ag exemption on that property, please? Ray or Scott or whoever?
Yeah, and at some point, let's try to get back to our hearing procedures here, if we can.
Well, actually, she was telling her story. And she was within her time, which just now ended. So I think we are. So now it just ended. But we're asking some questions and because we're not understanding what's the problem is here.
That's fine, Cindy. Let's just get back to what are we doing now?
Well, now it is you get 2 minutes to cross-examine and 2 minutes to rebut.
Okay. So the Ms. Baldry, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
The 19 acres is the new house that was built?
No.
5 acre? No, ma'am, just
No.
hang on a second. No, I'm good. The house that was built, but that's a relative of yours?
Yes, it was my grandson.
Okay, that 5 acres, does it sit between the 5 acres under protest and the 19 acres that we've been talking about?
Right, but it's only 4 point something, but yes, that's correct.
So that's an issue for us. That's an issue. The ag land can't just be broken up like that. So what you would do, what you would do is it takes a lot of thought when you have ag on property and then you're gonna make you're gonna do a change. The reality is that home should have been built on the land, the 34390, the land under protest. If that home was built on that piece of land, the 34390, then you would have a continuous piece of land, all ag. But now what we're saying is on a 5 acre piece of land that has a home on it, we want to let cattle pass through the back area of one piece of land owned by someone else to go to this other piece of land and and all for the basis of making a 5 acre piece of land ag. That's an issue. So it's not that the appraisal district is mistreating anyone, or we are certainly denying the ag exemption, and we would deny that ag exemption every time. Every time that ag exemption would be denied. That home that's built there is breaking up the continuity of those 2 pieces of land. There's a home in the middle, and it's not a home on 10 acres where the back of, or 11 acres where the back of it is pasture land. It's a 5 acre tract. And as far as city water and utilities and stuff, there are not. You're on a septic tank. There's septic tank and water wells all over this area. the other comps were not waterfront comps. But they were not on Baldery. So, you know, there's a lot of moving parts here. The comps aren't terrible. They're just okay. Because you had referenced that the comps weren't very good. They're okay. They're okay. The sales comps are okay. They're, you know, Baldery is not as good of a road as Portia or Spring or Coastal Wildwood. That's true. But we're also valuing it at 40 cents a square foot, not 55 or 60 or 70. So that's being taken into account. And I'm telling the board here, the appraisal district, when stuff like this happens and someone has ag, if they come and talk to us, we always advise them to be very, very careful what they do, where you build, how you build. Don't disrupt your ag exemption unless you really understand what you're doing, because it can be disrupted, and then you have to pay a rollback for change of use, and it's not fun. It's terrible. It's truly not a good thing. It's as good as the ag exemption is, it's equally bad when you lose it unintentionally.
Okay, so now we've got 2 minutes for Miss Baldery for rebuttal before y'all both go into your closings.
10-4.
Miss Baldery, you now have 2 minutes to ask questions.
All right. Well, I understand, but I didn't think it would be any problem with a relative living there and him giving me consent to go across his property to use the other property. Okay, so you say I tried to get it left in ag. Okay, now that you say it's not in ag, I understand that. But I still think you're overpricing it. There's a trailer park right behind the back, which is undesirable. It's on a dead-end road. It's not near Wildwood. I mean, you can't get to Wildwood. I don't see there's a lot of acreage between it and Wildwood. I don't see how you could possibly compare it with anything over in Wildwood. I mean, there's nothing. It's just open land. Full of, right now, it's full of disaster from Harvey. And you come down Baldery Lane, it's undesirable. There's 2 big trailer parks. There's like a warehouse or something at the road when you come down. It's trashy. It's trashy. My grandson's tried to have that cleaned up, and county won't do anything about it. So that's what I'm saying. I just don't think it's that desirable piece of property. So I'm just asking you to bear with me and see if you can bring those taxes down a little bit. I mean, I'm just an old lady and I'd love to live here the rest of my life.
Okay, so okay, so now Ray,
Yes, ma'am.
you've got your 1 minute closing.
So, okay, the fact that this thing came out of ag is a frustrating thing, especially unintentionally or unaware that it was going to happen. We agree. However, it has come out of ag. Ms. Baldery lives to the east, I'm assuming on
Wait,
that.
which way's east from you? I'm sorry.
Right there. She lives on this tract here, I'm assuming, the 19-acre tract. That's an assumption, but that's where she lives. I'm assuming that's under ag, and has been under ag, and that's her home. Go back to the other one, Scott. All I can say is we made an offer at $75,000, we, I guess the last opinion that I have is it's completely possible that out of ag, this land is not something that she can hold on to. That happens. It just happens. It's a decision that has to be made. So that's all I got.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Baldery,
Yes.
you've got 1 minute. This is your last opportunity to, speak on this issue at this hearing,
I just don't think that it's that that piece of property is that desirable for anyone, and I definitely think that taxes are too high. It's not like it's in Wildwood. It's like it's down a road that, a real bad road with real bad conditions, backed up to a trailer park. It's just, I don't think it's that desirable. Harvey hit it and it's full of down trees, it's a mess. It's a mess. I thank you for listening to me. That's all I got to say.
Okay, so now the appraisal review board, we get 5 minutes to discuss this issue and come up with our decision.
I think the offer that was made at 75,000 is very generous.
I agree.
I would agree too. And all I can,
Let's have a
because
motion.
the discussion went all over. It's like, I think it's fair. And last year
Okay.
it was at the 87. So I'm not sure about being pulled out of anything because I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, the 75 is very fair. So on account number 34390, I make a motion based upon what we heard from the appraisal district and from the property owner, taking into consideration the incorrect appraised market value and the appraisal ratio exceeding the median level of appraisal and any other issue which might affect the total valuation on this property, that I make a motion on account 34390. We lower the total value for 2020 to $75,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's a done deal. Ms. Baldery, it's 75,000 for this year. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for participating.
Well, thank you for listening to me. I had to
Okay.
give it a try.
Well, you did. You got it lowered to 75,000. So, and you'll get something in the mail. Also, if you would please, when you get your package in the mail, it tells you how to fill out a survey on your experience. We would appreciate if you would do so.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Baldery. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Val?
I'm here. I just wasn't sure. It's Miss Baldery hung up.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Our next case is in person. It is number 1364.
Okay.
I'm going to go bring him in.
And I'm here, Charlie.
The third one on page 1.
And I'm here at the office now, Charlie. I couldn't get my internet going this morning.
Oh,
Morning, Robert.
morning.
Morning.
Morning, Cindy.
Here comes your nurse.
Would you crash a router?
Yeah, I reset the router. It did the same thing a couple days ago, and resetting the router seemed to didn't do that.
How are you?
Okay.
In, it was out, it was in, it was out, off, on. And so I think they're working on it somewhere.
Are you going to be here Thursday morning?
Yes, as far as I know.
Okay, because I'm not going to be here and Kathy's not going to be here in the morning. So
Okay,
it's you and Cindy and Ramona, and we haven't been able to check with Ramona yet because she's not here till tomorrow.
okay. No, I should be here Thursday morning.
Okay.
So you're gonna go in and the table where you're gonna sit is to the right, kind of behind the door.
Oh, all right.
Mr. Sullivan is here for his hearing.
Good morning, Mr. Sullivan.
Good morning.
Are we all ready to go, folks?
Ready?
Is Ray here?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I'm having trouble with that little screen. Okay, Mr. Sullivan, we're going to have to go through some administrivia here. Just follow along with us. I'll ask a few questions along the way.
All right.
We're opening a hearing on case ID 2020-1364, account number 25870. This hearing is being recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing your protest today. I think you can see on the top of the screen, the panel is myself, Charles Powers, Kathy Hoffman, Cindy Duck, and Robert Dayton is in the room with you. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. Survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate it if you take it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Do we have all of your evidence?
You do?
Very good, thank you. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I am signing to that effect and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I am signing to that effect, and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I am signing to that effect. I'm physically located in Texas.
My name is Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I'm witnessing Mr. Powers, Ms. Hoffman, and Ms. Duck's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
Hang on, Charlie. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66 F.
I put a Post-it note up here with your name on it, so I knew that. All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
All right, Mr. Sullivan, if you will state your name and then read this sentence. And you'll sign.
I, John Sullivan, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay, Mr. Sullivan,
Yes, sir.
do you hold a Texas appraiser's license?
I do not.
Okay. You have in front of you on the table, I believe, a thing that says hearing procedure times.
That I do.
Okay, we're going to follow that procedure. And what I need to know is, do you want to go first or do you want the district to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, you have 5 minutes to state your case.
All right. All right. As near as I can tell from the evidence that was mailed to me by the appraisal district, last year, after the storm, you increased my property value, mainly the house, by about $40,000. Appears that most of that had to do with the roof that I replaced as a repair after the hurricane, and some windows that were replaced as well. It looks like the boathouse. I have 3 buildings on my property. I have a main house, and I have a workshop, and I have the boathouse. This is the way the boathouse was. This first page is just kind of introductory here. This is the way the boathouse was immediately after the storm. We thought it was a total loss, but we're able to salvage some portions of that. Go to the next picture. That's basically the way my boathouse was on January 1. It's still pretty badly torn up, and I don't see anywhere in y'all's evaluation of my property where you took into account that this building is nowhere near the way it was before the hurricane. You go to the next photograph. Still have roof damage, lots of siding torn up on this side. And of course, the other side is totally gone. You go to the next picture. That's the details of the roof. None of this has been repaired. On the inside, it's pretty torn up, same thing. Lots of what remains. The storm basically took all 3 walls out of that building, knocked them around. So I got all the siding is separated from the boards, and nails are put through. The studs are shifted off of the foundation. When you go in and you start trying to repair this, you'll find that a whole lot of this just has to be torn loose and replaced. You go to the next picture. That's pretty typical. I mean, it just shifted things around pretty bad. So that's the boathouse. Next building is what y'all call my workshop. It's about 1,200 square foot. The back 500 square foot was what we used as a guest room. It was insulated. It was paneled, sheeted, air conditioned, the whole 9 yards. When the storm came, it took a big section of the roof off this building, trashed everything on the inside. We concentrated the insurance proceeds that we received to repair my main house to the detriment of these other buildings, correct? All we ever did with this was put on a new roof. So if you look around, I mean, y'all seen plenty of houses like this, right? It's just gutted on each side. And I don't really see where y'all took any of this damage into account in preparing the market value of my property. You can flip through the next couple of pictures. It's just more of the same. Strip paint, tore things up. I guess the other point I have in this is I did a little research into the section 23 of the tax code. And there's a section F that talks about how an appraisal district is supposed to assess repairs made after a natural disaster. And it basically states that A new improvement is not to be treated as a new improvement if it basically replaces the structure in the way that it was before. So when you come to the value of my house, yes, I did replace the entire roof. It was absolutely necessary that I do so. I could not replace a 10-year-old roof. I had to replace a brand new roof. Okay, and from what the information y'all showed me, y'all took my new roof into account. Same thing with the windows that you're adding to the value of my property for. 14 of the windows in my house were not at 140 Front Street after the hurricane. They were across the street. 3 or 4 others had the frames bent, and 4 or 5 I probably could have reused. Nonetheless, I don't think y'all properly took into account section 23.3, paragraph F in assessing those repairs made after the hurricane. All of these changes to the value of my property were made last year. I came and had a meeting here in this office about this time last year, went over all of this stuff. The gentleman I spoke to at the time showed me that y'all had only increased the assessed value by 10%, not the full value. We talked about it and I agreed that yes, that would be fair. It would take me 3 or 4 years to get up to the full market value for my assessed value. And that was fine, we let that be. I get my tax statement this year, you'll bump the assessed value 38%. And you put it all the way back up to the full value, which is in violation of what I thought we had as an understanding and agreement last year. So basically what I'm looking for here is you to limit the value of my house to what it was before the storm and to depreciate the workshop and the boathouse due to the damage that was incurred and that remains to this day. There's a page on the very back of this, a little spreadsheet, kind of a history of the tax years, the changes that were made in 2018 to the value of the land. Same thing, I had to get reinforced last year because I won an appraisal review board hearing, but value went right back up in 2019. As you can see, my assessed value went up 38% this year, and I have a lot of damage. I have no value, no issue with the underlying value of the land. We're just talking about the improvements.
Okay. So, are y'all okay?
We're okay. Yeah, no big deal.
Mr. Sullivan, your 5 minutes per presentation is over now. So now it's the district's turn, Ray, for you to do 2 minutes of cross-examine and 5 minutes for presentation. So I'm giving you 7 minutes.
Okay, I don't have any cross-examine, anything to cross-examine. I'll go into my presentation and I will not spend any time in the sales and equity grids. We can do that later if necessary. The warehouse, workshop and the boathouse values, I would leave those values up to you guys. I don't think, just from looking in the account here, that we have made any adjustments for damage to either one of those structures. We have them as a 1965, so they're sort of full of depreciation. There's a lot of depreciation, I guess. They're about half depreciated, little less than half depreciated. But there is not anything in these accounts where we are kind of correctly assessing those as damaged. They're just in their natural state of depreciation, which is incorrect per the pictures.
I have a question. If the property owner came in last year, Why was that not addressed last year when you came in person?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was addressed when I came in last year.
He's saying that it was addressed.
But
was
it didn't
addressed.
get noted on the file?
Let me finish up here.
Go ahead and finish, sorry.
It's okay. The bigger issue not the bigger issue, but there's another thing that's going on here, and you guys are familiar with the cap. So a homestead cap works like this. A homesteaded property cannot go up more than 10% in a year in the assessed value unless new value is added. The market value can move all over the place, but the value that's assessed, that the levy is driven off of, doesn't get to go up more than 10%. That's the homestead. That's a limitation of a residence homestead. Probably everybody on the board has a homesteaded property in this county and at least understands that. So then a storm happens and homesteads are complicated. So there's an annoyance in here in that you guys and us and Mr. Sullivan are having to deal with this, and the rest of the state by and large doesn't. So you got to think about something here. This 2323 thing, it has, it gives you some parameters for if something is new, bigger, better, that kind of thing. But then it also says that the appraised value that the property would have had in the preceding tax year if the casualty or damage had not occurred is considered to be the appraised value of the property for that year, regardless of whether that appraised value exceeds the actual appraised value of the property for that year. What it's saying, in our opinion, is that it's called the would have had value. That's mostly how you hear it, is people say would have had. So for 90% of the properties out there, that's the 17 value.
I would agree.
And it just says this cap is calculated off of, or your cap is calculated off of 17, not the damage year. So if you guys could just step back and think about the whole county now and all the homesteaded properties, what the tax code is trying to do is to not have a cap mess where there's a hurricane that happens and then thousands of properties have their cap calculated at 10% off of the damage year. It's telling the appraisal district to go to what it would have been to calculate the cap. So the issue here on this particular property, it's a little bit complicated, is last year there's this little checkbox that an appraiser has to actually check. We actually asked our software vendor to not make us do this, but they said no. So we had to go into every single homesteaded property and find out what the would have had value would be, check a box, enter that value, recalculate the account, and make sure that it worked. We didn't do that on this account. There may be others, but we didn't do that. So last year, he had $100,000 cap loss. It's our opinion that all we did was correct an error. Mr. Sullivan has a different opinion about that. And so it is, in just what's been presented so far, I don't have an opinion of value for the boathouse or the workshop. That's just up to you guys. Whatever y'all think that damage is, let's do it. The cap issue is also for y'all to decide, and it's not critical. I mean, it is critical in a sense. It's you got to just think about what you think is right, and it's our opinion that we checked the box this year, should have checked it last year, and we're simply correcting a error. keystroke error in a sense. But that's our opinion. And I'm going to stop there. You guys are probably going to have questions.
Can I ask a question now? So if you're saying, I don't understand totally, if we lower the value of the boathouse and the workshop, is that going to affect that 10% cap rate? Or do you have to recalculate that then?
Let me look at something real quick. In this case, the way that it is right now, a couple of things. One is, to answer your question specifically, you actually don't necessarily have the authority you get to tell us what the value is. You see? Okay. So we're not going to go into an account and make changes that way, but you have to think about it that way. So if you were to say, take $20,000 off the value, then you would get this thing down from 359 to 339, but you really wouldn't be addressing one of Mr. Sullivan's points. You see what I'm saying? One of his points is, well, I'm going to let him state his point because he needs to restate that, because that's the thing that's really at play here. Because if all we had to do was worry about taking $20,000 off a couple of buildings, then we wouldn't be sitting here. There's a larger thing at play, and that thing has to do with, it's our opinion that we made an error in the previous year. That's what we're saying.
But you said we don't have the authority to do that.
You have the authority to make the value. That's why you have to, you're truly like a jury right now. You're going to have to think about what you guys believe is right. And you need to let John talk now.
Okay. And can I just say one other thing, Ray? In all of our numbers, we on the appraisal review board, and we've brought it up before, we're not able to see all of the numbers that we see are the land value of $215,340 and the improvement of $144,530 for a total of $359. We're not provided that what he's actually seeing with his homestead cap. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you're not quite understanding here.
I guess not.
There's not a homestead cap right now, Cindy. So think about the 2020 year. What we're saying is that we checked the box that made the software point back to 17 and say, calculate off that year, not 18. We didn't check that box in 19. So in 19, there was a cap loss. So in 20, we checked that box. So now there's not a cap loss. So I really think that the best thing to happen now is for us to, this is just my opinion, I think the time needs to be given back over to Mr. Sullivan. Okay. I've been talking for a long time, and I've explained my position.
Yes, sir, you have.
Yes. I'm sorry.
We need to be fair.
Yes,
I agree. I want to be fair here too. I don't have an issue with what you said that you failed to check a box last year. I get that. I don't mind you going back and fixing that error. It's not fair for you to work off of a 2018 value and ratchet it up 10% at a time, right? That was a one-up deal. But where I see the mistake, I think there were two mistakes made. I think the first mistake that was made was that you didn't check the box. I think the second mistake that was made, actually it's two mistakes. You didn't assess whether the damage had been repaired or not. I think you'd agree that was a mistake. The other part I think that was a mistake is an increase in the value of my property in contradiction to that paragraph I read, section F, the woulda coulda clause. So if I look at the woulda coulda clause, I would tell you that the value of my property in 2019, we're just talking about the improvements, right? The land is not an issue.
Yes, sir.
The value of my property in 2019 should have been 106,570, would have been the woulda coulda clause, right? That's the way it was before the storm. That's what should have been put in last year. Mm-hmm. And the repairs that were made should not have affected that value. That should have just rolled right over. Mm-hmm. And we should have reduced that 106,570 by the damage to the other two structures. And that gets us somewhere in the neighborhood of what I put down here on the last line in red for proposed. If I take off, 106,570 for the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and I take off $20,000, $30,000 worth of damage to the structure, I'm at 75. And I kind of feel like I'm being fair here.
75 on top of
So,
the
sir,
one that's-
what is your total opinion of value?
Go ahead, if you want to say it. She's
Well,
asking-
I'm
add it up for him, is what she's saying.
I'm talking about the appraised value of the improvements based upon the appraisal district's math should be about 75. It should have been,
So what do you
last year,
think
it should have
the
been
total
should have been 106 minus the damage. And that's what we're here to decide is what is that damage worth?
I'm going to go ahead and swear in. My name is Mike Soto. I do solemnly swear affirm that testimony you shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct. I just want to clear up, where are we at? Whose time is it?
It's
Well,
his and he
Y'all
is,
had more time than you were due
Yes, sir.
so far.
That's
I
correct.
don't know if anybody's keeping track.
yes,
That's why I asked her. That's why I asked. And I'm
yes, I'm the timekeeper. And he was in his, he had 2 minutes cross-examine, 2 minutes rebuttal. So you know how I always just put in 4 minutes for that time. And when I say he, I mean Mr. Sullivan. So I've stopped it when you came in, Mike, and that he was down to, he had about another minute. Well, he did have another minute and 30 seconds. Also, I timed the time that Ray went over. It was 2 minutes and 31 seconds. So I do keep up with it, and I do know that it was exactly 2 minutes and 31 seconds that Ray spoke over.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you doing that.
Thank you very much. We'll be quiet and let Mr. Sullivan continue.
Well, no, I think I've said my piece. I mean, I think the woulda, shoulda clause would have made 2019, 106,570 less whatever we would agree that the damage to those two structures was below that number. That's not what we did in 2019. I did have discussions here in that office about this last year. And I was informed of the checkbox and everything else. I'm aware of that. I don't have a problem with that. But the agreement that we made last year was that we would ratchet it up by 10% on an ongoing basis. And that's, and with that being said, to save you time, me time, everybody's time, last year I agreed to, I said, that's fine. I understand that y'all want to go and check the box and get things the way they should have been. And that's why I'm here today, trying to, again, come to something that's fair and equitable on both sides. I'm done, ma'am.
Cindy, whose time is it?
Okay, so now it is the district 2 minute rebuttal.
In the district 2 minute rebuttal, I just want to clarify that the would have had value is the would have had value prior to the storm. And I think that that's probably been discussed, that in 2017, there was a total valuation of $345,870. And really, you're looking at the delta between the 345, the would have had value prior to the storm. And now what we have is a valuation of what, 359? So if you look at the delta between those two, I mean, we're probably looking at $14,000. And that does not, it will not, that would not be affected by the cap. That's the whole point of all of this.
Well, there is also the damage to the two other structures, which is
Right.
significant.
Correct.
Okay, so if there's a value associated with the overall structure that's been, testified to.
Yeah, there's $40,000 in each of the structures, 41 and 43,000.
3 and 24.
23 and
As
24.
far as
43 and 24.
So there's 40 some odd thousand overall.
Yeah, 47.
Can you pull that down?
For the two structures.
Yes.
Okay, so, I mean, we would be okay with the roughly $100,000 for the structure value and going down the road.
That's where I'm headed.
But I mean, that's his testimony to his damage, but it's all been repaired. Is that correct?
No, sir.
We
You
saw
showed
pictures.
pictures.
That's the whole
Yeah.
point here.
We saw pictures, Mike. It's a mess.
It is a mess.
I mean, my main
Okay, so
house,
hang on.
okay,
It's
So,
not,
so.
it's not even worth.
Hang on, roughly $42,000 or something like that?
No, it's more than that.
Okay. I think it's been testified to around 40-something thousand dollars.
47.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification. So in round numbers, we're talking $100,000 to the structure and the remainder to the land. And as far as a ruling would go, you know, you can make a ruling on that value. We're okay. with
Okay,
it.
so,
But the
you've gone.
whole issue of doing
Behind.
the cap, I know I'm running over the time. You can keep the time and he can have equal time. As far as the running over in the cap, we're correcting an error. We should not continue to do the error. That's my whole point.
I'm not disputing that at all.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, that's all I got.
I'm not disputing that at all.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
can we proceed, Cindy?
I would like to.
Who's next?
Okay, well, I feel like next is the protester closing and the district closing, but, and typically the closing is 1 minute. But I feel like the protester should get an option if he wants a little more time. I can add it on there and he can start, and if he ends up going over, then I can keep up with it.
Okay. Mr. Sullivan, it's up to you.
All right, I don't need anywhere near that much time. I think what Mr. Soto's kind of offering here is $100,000 for the property, the improvements, and the 215 for the land, for a total of 315. I can live with that.
Good.
I think that would be fair.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right.
Ray?
I don't have anything to say.
All right.
Thank you.
Cindy?
Well, I would say if the district offered 315, then, I mean, I'm good with,
Yeah, it's agreed to with everybody.
Just
All right,
Both parties.
I'm good with the 315.
okay, so on account number 25870, based upon what we heard from the district and from the property owner, and taking into consideration the possibility of an incorrect appraised market value and any other issue which might possibly affect the total valuation on the property, on account number 25870, I make a motion that we lower the total value for 2020 to 315,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Sullivan, it's 315,000.
Yes, sir. I can live with that.
Thank you very much.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
And we would really appreciate, I mean, you are done, but and everything, but when you exit, we would really appreciate if you would pick up a survey there to fill out about your experience with the Appraisal Review Board.
I would be glad to.
All right, thank you so much, sir.
All right.
John, thanks.
Is there paperwork we need to sign? Everybody agreeing to this? Or is it
You're just
done
gonna
deal?
get something in the mail.
Okay.
It'll be a hearing. What's it called, Val?
It's a notice, a final notice order.
Yeah,
That works.
Okay.
All right.
and hopefully we don't talk next year.
It's been 3 years.
I
in a
know,
row.
John,
I would
I know.
agree to that
I
as
know.
well.
I know we.
I mean,
Now,
It's
Take a
been an
year off.
unusual situation for everybody.
Runs over.
Yes, sir.
All right,
I
appreciate
can't
it.
imagine.
how many people, how many do
you
we
guys
have?
Trying to deal with, I
One
mean,
more.
how do you know
It's
what my property looks
14448.
You bet.
It will.
One more case.
Just one more for the 8:30?
like?
Yes,
Y'all have a good day.
Thanks.
All right.
What's the number? I'm
one,
sorry.
1448
Awesome.
in person.
Okay, and that's on page 2 at the top.
Bring them in.
Kathy,
And I know this person,
do you think it'll affect your
but
decision?
I don't think it'd affect my decision.
I don't think it would.
How do you say your name?
Cindy,
Or-
Cindy Brunel or,
Brunel Orr.
Yep.
or, correct.
Lordy.
Protest form has 2 check marks, one on market value and one on file the protest in 2018.
What?
The protest form has on it 1 check mark for market value and 1 check mark for failure to
Failure to send required
notice.
required notice. I don't know if
File
that's,
protest 2018.
Yeah, well, that's,
so you're saying she did protest in 2018?
That's the way I read it.
Well, we don't know what the decision was then.
We'll probably try to clarify that. You know, we'll see what that means. I'm not sure exactly what that means either.
Okay.
Maybe there was a decision in 18. We'll see. We'll see.
ringing the bell, but I don't remember. Let me have to.
Hey, Scott, will you take that down?
Yeah, take down what's up there.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to, yeah, I understand.
Is it stuck on there?
No, it's, we're getting there.
I was joking. Oh my gosh. Okay. One more.
Y'all locked that down over there already?
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Ray, just a second.
Huh?
Will you look at this?
Sure. Oh, let's try to, let's let this guy have it here.
Okay, that's.
You know what I mean?
That's what
That's what I was thinking too. I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, he's been in here 3 years in a row, and
Is she not in the room yet?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm gonna run and get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
Well, I guess we'll have a 5-minute recess.
I'll turn on this light for a minute. So it's not quite dark as you want. Okay. Yes, we're over here.
go ahead, Scott.
Let's Charlie, take a break, so.
Oh, okay. All right, this is, if you would sign, this was the one that from earlier, that had the use of the remote notarization. So this was the first page we started just now. This is what, if you don't mind signing this affidavit.
Oh, okay, this is was the very first case that I missed part of?
No, this
This
is
is
the
Mr.
one you
Sutton.
just signed.
Did I sign the wrong one?
Well, see, on the ones that you have, it has this
Oh,
disclaimer
I
at the
got you, I
bottom.
got you.
So I went
Okay.
ahead and printed out
All right.
the different types. And here's a better copy.
Okay.
Kona.
Work at home this afternoon, I'll go back.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, so you've got either one. Thank you.
But if I'm home, I need to sign the ones that have.
Exactly. Yeah. Once they get started, people will, the board will swear to some things. This will be your oath that you will sign and print your name there. And when it's your turn, you'll state your name aloud and read this statement. It's the same one that's on this paper. Okay, and so now you can go ahead and do that. Okay.
We'll get started in just a minute. Cynthia, is it?
Yes, she's in the room. Oh, wait.
Also, if you have time for me to explain it, this is the pad that they look at for the evidence. And is,
You have some of that medicine to give her? She's kind of freaking out.
so this is the taxpayer.
Okay.
Form 8.
Robert, are you there? I can't see you.
I'm here.
Okay.
Where are you, Robert? We can't see you at all.
I'm sitting at Kathy's desk.
Oh, okay, there, all right.
Okay. Cynthia, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We got some administrative to go through. I'll work from the script and I'll ask a few questions along the way.
Okay.
We're opening a hearing on case ID 2020-1448, account 25035. This hearing is being recorded. We're the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protests today. Now, we're scattered out all over the place. Robert Dayton is at the table there. You can see him. He's in the room with you. Kathy Hoffman, Cindy Duck, and myself, Charles Powers, are on Zoom. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protests. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. Survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. Survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate it if you take it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Cynthia, do we have all of your evidence?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, thank you. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I am signing to that effect, and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I am signing to that effect, and I am physically located in the state of Texas.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I am physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I'm witnessing Mr. Powers, Ms. Duck, and Ms. Hoffman's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
Post-it note fell down.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
And Ms. Sir, you can go ahead and state your name and read that statement.
Okay, my name is Cindy Brunel Orr. I do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay, Cindy, do you hold an appraiser's license in the state of Texas?
No.
Thank you. You have in front of you hearing procedures times taped to the table.
Yes, sir.
We're going to follow this procedure throughout the hearing. Would you like to go first, or would you like the district to go first?
I guess they can go first. That's fine. This is my first time here, so that's fine.
Okay,
Go first. That'd be great.
Ray?
Alrighty. On the protest form, we have incorrect market or incorrect appraised value is checked. And there's also a check mark on failure to send required notice. And it says filed 2018 protest. All right, I'm going to go into the ACAD evidence and discuss market value. This property is on Bahama Drive in Key Allegro Unit 3. Has a market value of $503,970. It has the original effective age of 1973 on the house. And I'm just seeing if there's anything else in this account. It looks like it's just calculating off of actual build date. No adjustments are in here. Land value of $354,760. There's a function due to end of canal. The property it sits on the end of a canal, so it has an adjustment for that. The sales comparison approach. Let's see, we've got a sell on Pelican. And what is the fourth month? January, February, March, and April for $581, $250. Adjust out to $547, $386. We have a sell on Bayshore in 19 for $562, $500. Adjust out to $533. And there's a sell on Luau for $550 and a sell on Mazatlan for $539. One of those is in 19, one of those is 20. Is there another one? Okay, that's the last one. Gives a median value of $540,320. And we're at $503,970. That's all I have.
Okay. All right. So Cindy, now you've got 2 minutes to cross-examine, and then you've got 5 minutes to present. So you've actually got 7 minutes.
Okay. Well, our big concern is that, the value of our house went up so much. It almost doubled since Harvey. And, the comparisons, I feel like the issue is that we have not been able to repair all of our damage from the hurricane. We've been doing it as our budget permits, but we've had, a lot of, even to do the repairs, now the homeowners were having to do the bulkhead, so I've had to have divers come and give an estimate. So there's so much work that needs to be done to our home to bring it. We're not really fighting the fact that the home is, if all of these, when everything is done, is worth these comparables, but at the present state, it is not worth that. And it seems like, we went from $80,000 of value to 151 of the house value after, at this point. So, we're just trying to get back to our pre-Harvey value, and then of course, so we're able, and then make all these repairs to bring the house back up, back up to market. We have had, contractors which I've, come and submit bids for all of these things, and what they're gonna cost. We did get, some insurance money, which we, repaired the roof, had to rip out all the ceilings. We've done a lot of the major, some of the major things, but there's still a lot left that needs to be done to get the house back to the value it was even before the storm, which, you know, was at 4:30. And it was an older home to begin with, so trying to get it back where it is costs a whole lot more today than it would have before. So, you know, that is really the problem, you know, that we went from 430,000 to 503. That's, you know, like a $73,000 difference, which we thought was pretty extreme. You know, we've had, you know, I submitted, you know, we need all new windows. You know, we replaced the windows that were broken, but all the seals are broken. You know, we're currently working on all the AC systems. You know, we are doing all of this, and, you know, I'm waiting on a bid, although Robert Shane has come and looked at the bulkhead, you know, and given me kind of a verbal rough estimate of what he feels like it's going to be to do the bulkhead before the owners will even give me a permit to do any of the required work outside. You know, like to the deck, for instance, has pulled away after the storm, and now when we had the last storm, it like rained in the house from where it's pulled away. But I can't even start to repair that until I deal with the bulkhead. You know, so we've just got a lot of expense, and so we thought about, of course, we've been like everybody else. Do we keep the house? Do we put the money in the house? And I had a realtor come and, you know, assess what we would have to do to the home. And, you know, these were kind of the list on my thing. She said, you know, in order to bring it to, you know, to market value and what you need to do, these are like, you know, kind of your baseline things that have to be done. You know, and so, you know, that's why we're protesting the hike in value so much for us.
Are you living in the house now?
Yes, sir. It's livable. It's, you know, it's livable with the things that we've done to it, but it's definitely not at market value at this point.
Cindy, what percent complete was it on January 1? Do you think?
Like all of these things are still outstanding. As far as like we've done the roof, like I said, we've done, as far as windows go, maybe, you know, I think 4 of them were broken, so we replaced all of those. You know, we are trying to get bids I've gotten bids for impact and non-impact windows, and then try to get bids on shutters, because all of our metal shutters are stuck, like rusted and damaged shut. So we would, you know, debating whether to have to entirely replace all of those or go back with the impact. So we're looking at the cost. So, you know, we're probably maybe, you know, 20% done. Again, it's livable, but it's not saleable. So we've basically done what's livable, and then we're, you know, we're trying to do what we can without having to do, you know, the bulkhead and whatnot at this point. As our budget permits, we're doing the work. In the middle of doing the AC repairs right now. You know.
So what is the total value of all of your necessary repairs?
About 120.
I feel
That's including the bulkhead?
No,
no.
Not including the bulkhead.
no. It goes down through upstairs flooring, item 9.
Charlie, where did you find that item? Oh, okay, right there. Got it.
How we doing, Cindy? Where we at?
She still has a minute left in her time for presentation.
Thank you.
So I feel like that's really that's all I really have to say about it is, you know, that's our main concern is how much we've got to do to the home to get it back, to get it to the market value. So because a lot of the comparables, you know, our house wasn't remodeled from 1972. We bought it, it's still old, it still has all the old appliances, still had the original ACs. So, you know, added that onto plus the hurricane damage, you know, we're pretty behind the ball and you know, when I look at the comparable properties that that you guys have presented us with, and everything else that's sold on our street, you know, so. Unfortunately, we started upgrading and remodeling, but now we're dealing with a hurricane, so the upgrades and remodels are really, that were cosmetic and personal things to increase the value are on the back burner, because now we're dealing with the major other things that are going on.
Okay. All right, so now we're at, the district gets 2 minutes to cross-examine and 2 minutes for rebuttal.
I've got a couple questions. One would be, and just bear with this question. It's not me saying that you're giving bad data. I just really want to hear you say yes. The photos,
Okay,
these photos are as of January 1. I just want to make sure we're not looking at photos.
these are
that-
photos, actually, I think they're more, my husband took the photos, and they're more recent than January.
Then even that, that's
Yes.
great. Sometimes we get photos from
No.
September 1st of
If you
2017.
come to my home today, this is everything.
That's what
looks
you
like
see.
this.
That's outstanding.
Yes, sir.
That helps. That just helps us when we're comparing things here. One of the issues that I think we need to take a look at is in the account, Scott, we need to look at roll history and address the change in value. That sounds like there's been a change in value, not even associated with the storm. We're actually higher than we were in 17.
Right.
So let's take a look at that, because I don't know the answer to that. And so I don't know why, because I'm looking at the account here and we have not increased your effective age. So I just need to see what we did to create a higher value. I need to get that answered.
And can you tell us the 2017 value?
We're getting there, I think.
2017 value, $433,000, I believe it was.
I'm sorry, 413,000 what?
Hold on 1 second. Let me look at this for a second. So
Oh, okay.
33, 430, go back again. 430, go back. 430. Okay, so just open up one of those years. Open up 17.
Ray, you've got 2 minutes.
Okay, that's fine, Cindy. If I run out of time, I run out of time.
Well, and I have the values here. It 430 was the 2017 pulled up from your website.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Fourth,
that's
yeah,
what you're
that's
looking for.
correct. I want to see what that's okay. So I don't know why, but as far as I can look back, there was a distribute value in this account. There was a number of 430 that was being frozen in time instead of calculating off of market/cost. I don't know why that is. It happens. Sometimes you'll hear it called a distribute value or a flat value. And it's basically someone checks a radial, tells the software to stop calculating and make it this number no matter what. That was done in this account. So when we look back at 17 at 430 and why did it go up to this 506, we don't get a mathematical answer. We get an answer that has to do with that for some reason the value was frozen at 430. So let's address damage a little bit here. Damage isn't dollar for dollar normally. So like if you have a $30,000 roof and you fix it, it doesn't mean you just made your house worth $30,000 more dollars. Or if you spend a $50,000 on a pool, you may have added $5,000 of value to your house, that kind of thing. So I'm agreeing with you that there's damage here. It's obvious that there's damage here. You have repairs that need to be made. You've stated that you're living in the house. So it's a livable house. We're mass appraisers. We do things in bulk. So what we do normally in this case is we make an improvement 75% good. If we did that, it would make your value, like if I just rounded it, it would be 465. That's what it would do.
465?
That's correct.
That's at
I'm just
75.
telling you, that's how we handle stuff like this.
And just so you know, you ran out of time. We can give you more if you need it.
No, cut me off. Let's move on.
Okay, so now, Cindy, you've got 2 minutes to ask questions. Rebuttal, protester rebuttal.
Well, I guess, one question is about the frozen value. I feel like my husband did a protest and that's why the value was at 430.
I thought that was going to be the answer. The problem is when I looked back, he may have done that. And I looked back a few years and it was in there even all the way back into 16. I didn't keep looking back,
Yeah.
but you're right. That could have happened.
He did come and do a protest, I think, because it did go up fairly high. But
Yeah.
it's an older house and it didn't have any improvements like the others.
I think I actually remember talking to him, to be honest with you. I think I remember the conversation. I remember the house, but that number isn't perpetual. That number is supposed to be agreed upon and then leave.
Okay.
Because the calculating of an account is really important to equity amongst everyone. You know, we can't have 500 properties and 25 of them frozen and 475 of them actually doing the math they're supposed to do. That would mean that we're actually we're only supposed to do that for like a year or two, and there's a reason we do it and we can explain it. It shouldn't stay in the account. It's important that this account eventually calculates. This is not the year. We're going to distribute this account again this year. We just got to come to the number. You know, the thing that is complicated here.
It is her time.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's okay. I mean,
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I feel like I've kind of said I don't really have any, any more evidence or anything.
I mean,
So
I don't know what to say other than the value needs to be changed. I would easily change the value to 465. But we're here with the review board, so let's just let them make a decision.
Cindy, is that a number that you could be happy with, 465? Can you accept that?
I would be a lot happier with it at 430 or closer to 430.
Okay, well, we'll keep going then. Where are we,
I
Cindy?
guess what does the review board have to say?
We'll find out.
So now the district has 1 minute closing.
I'm done.
Okay, Cindy, you have 1 minute closing.
Okay, well, I feel like I'm good. I feel like I've said what I need to say and I appreciate y'all's time. And what happens from here? Do I just wait to hear from you?
No,
or-
just we're still in it. We're still going on.
Okay, well, very good. Well, I feel like I'm done. I don't feel like I have anything else to add.
Okay. All right. So now, Cindy, what happens is the appraisal review board has 5 minutes and you stay in the room and we discuss amongst ourselves and get any answers to things so that we can come up with the final answer.
Looking at the damages, I would tend to go to 450.
That's exactly what I was going to
Yep,
say,
me
because I
too.
think that it doesn't take into consideration the bulkhead expense. I don't know what the price is for that, but that hasn't been, I think that was calculated in there. So
Right.
between the 430 and the 465, I'm happy with 450.
450. Okay. So on account number 25035, taking into consideration what we heard from the appraisal district and also from the property owner, and taking into consideration incorrect appraised market value and also potentially any other issue that might affect the total valuation on the property, I make a motion that on account 25035, we lower the 2020 total value to $450,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Cynthia, that's it. We're done.
Okay. So you'll get something in the mail and then we'll get something. Okay.
And then Cynthia, Cynthia, oh my gosh. Cindy, if you would please fill out a survey And they can tell you up at the front desk, they may even have them up there. And the survey is about your experience with the appraisal review board. We'd really appreciate it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aye.
All right.
All right. While papers are being gathered, I'll let you know the next case number is going to be 870 from the 10 o'clock docket, and it will be by Zoom.
Okay.
Kathy, that's page 2 at the bottom.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Scott, thank you for all the running you've been doing with all these papers.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Just gotta be getting back and forth. Whenever y'all ready, I can bring the next person in, whenever you're ready to go.
Oh, we're ready.
We're ready.
Is Ray here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready, Ray?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Let's get this done.
Oh, and this will be 2 cases with the same person.
Okay.
So he's on, but now his microphone is there. Mr. Nash?
Hi.
Mr. Nash?
Hello. He actually was able to come.
Okay.
Oh.
This is Charlie Powers talking.
Hi.
I have a question. Who signed the affidavit?
He did. Well, one property's in both of our names, and for some reason, one property's in his, which we're getting that change. But anyway.
Okay, my question though is who can speak?
Can we both speak?
As
If you
long
both-
as they
I'll speak, and he can back me up or
both
jump in
signed
or
it?
let him speak.
Who signed the affidavit?
Is there in front of you? I don't know if I have it here with me.
I have it. It's a image of one.
Okay, there it is. I guess that's me. I guess I filled that out. Yes, sir.
So you
But I filled it out, but he,
Both our signatures at the bottom.
that's good. Excellent. That's what I wanted to see.
yes.
Thank you. Okay. We have some administrivia to get through before we start the meat of the matter.
Okay.
So just follow along with me. I'll have some questions toward the end. We're opening a hearing, case ID 2020-870, account 61156. This hearing is being recorded. We're the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protests today. Cindy, Duck, Kathy Hoffman, and myself are on Zoom. And Robert Dayton is actually in the conference room at the Aransas CAD. Wave your hand, Robert. There he is. He's really there. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. Survey is voluntary. We do appreciate it if you take it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Do we have all of your evidence?
Well, it was a statement, and I was going to present the comps that there's 2 examples on each property, so I was just going to give you those numbers.
Okay. You cannot introduce any pictures or written material after this point in time.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means you can't put, you can't put written
That's
material
fine.
in.
Verbal will be fine.
Verbal is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 4166F. I am signing to that effect and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another individual in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect. And I am located in the state of Texas.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Sal Smith. I'm a notary public. I'm witnessing Mr. Powers, Ms. Hoffman, and Ms. Duck's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear affirm the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. I'm going to assume, Mr. and Mrs. Nash, I'm going to assume that because you signed the affidavit, you're under oath for the duration of this hearing. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do either of you hold an appraiser's license in the state of Texas?
No, sir.
No.
Do you recall a chart called hearing procedure times that came with your package?
Yes, 10 o'clock.
Feel it like coming across.
It's got two major columns. One of them begins with the protester and the other begins with the district. Who would you like to go first?
We're easy. Either way. What's good with you, Charles?
You get to choose.
I don't know the difference.
Let's let the district go.
Okay, Raymond?
All right. Okay, here we go. Can we see everything here? You guys seeing the screen?
Yes.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Excellent. So this property is located Shell Ridge Road area. Kind of see it there on the picto. There you go. And has a value of 401,520. The protest form is Q1, Q2, which deals with market value and equity. If you go back to the picto real quick, Scott, you'll notice, you can kind of notice that there is a house, typical house for the area, and then in the back there's a garage. That rectangle in the back, that's actually on kind of located there. I think that road is Bay, is a detached garage or a metal building, I believe. And okay, so we've got market and equity under protest. Let's take a look here and see what we got. Shell Ridge Road. The first comp is on Austin Street, a little further to the north there. Sold for $390, and that was in August of 19. The second comp is on Water Street, and it sold in 20 for $464. And the third comp is on Shell Ridge Road. It sold $547,770. The median value is $406,682. We have a market value of $401,520. Let's look at equity real quick here. So equity, first comp is Shell Ridge Road, 4FB. Age is kind of similar. There's an adjustment for age, and it comes out to $379 on the indicated value. There's a house on Water Street that's a 4FB plus. Age is adjusted for, has an indicated value of $399 after it makes its adjustments. Some of these do not have detached garages, you can see that adjustment in there, or carports. Shell Ridge Road is comp 3. Just out to 414,033 to 4FB plus. House on Water Street, 4FB plus. Gives a median value of 406,822. This would be a case where the median value for equity and the median value for sales are really, really tight. That's all we got.
Okay, so now, I'm sorry. All right, so Charles, and I'm sorry, and what's the other ones?
I'm Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, okay.
Yes.
So Charles and Elizabeth, now you've got the 2 minutes to cross-examine and then 5 minutes to present. So I'm just gonna put you in for 7 minutes, okay?
I want to just present the facts on Shell Ridge, the comparisons that I have. Shell Ridge is unique. It's not Water Street. It's not any other street. I don't know where Austin Street is, but it's definitely separate. And I just have done comparisons for myself as to what my neighbors are priced versus what I'm priced. And I just want apples to apples. That's all I'm asking. So I don't really know whether I talk now or whether I talk later or hear everything.
You talk now. This is your
time.
Okay, so we're talking about Shell Ridge. So basically I looked at I looked at my waterfront property per square foot, and I spoke to Jackie about all that. Anyway, my neighbor down the street, who is 27930, first they had my waterfront priced higher, and then she adjusted that. She recognized he's got the exact same property size I do. Now I realize my water view, which is 6,400 square feet behind here. His property, he's got 7,900 square feet. I'm priced at 51,200 for 6,400 square feet. He's at 7,900 square feet for 47,400. So that's where I'm looking at the discrepancies in my land value versus my next door, versus my neighbor who's got the same property I have. I'm at $8 a square foot and he's at $6 a square foot on our Waterview property. I'm just trying to get mine equal to what my neighbors are. I've only compared my area. I'm not interested in the sale prices, because I was just looking at my land. So I don't know if what I just heard is dealing with land property or what it's dealing with. Is it dealing with the whole package? Because I can also show you that I have 1,519 square feet, 1,519 square feet of my house that was priced at $106 a square foot, where my next door neighbor has 3,822 square feet and he's at $85 a square foot. And my house is blown away twice and his house is solid concrete and wonderful, newer than mine.
Can you repeat, and I'm so sorry, can you repeat just that last statement?
Okay,
Numbers?
his house, his location number, or I'm sorry, account number is 27933. He's my next door neighbor. He has a 3,822 square foot home, which is priced at $85 a square foot. My 1,519 square foot house is priced at $106.75 a square foot. So those are the things I look at when I was trying to find comps to see why, and also why it went up so incredible. Anyway, I'm just trying to get me on the same playing field as everybody else is. That's all.
Okay. And so is that all you had to present?
Well, for Shell Ridge, yes, ma'am. I mean, that I'd like to be in the same ballpark as my neighbors.
Okay.
Even Mr. Ellis's land, the one I said was $6 a square foot, his water view, whereas I was at $8. His home, he's at $92 a square foot. I'm at 80, I'm at 106.75. My other neighbor's at 85. So I'm just trying to figure out, how do you get to the same pricing per square foot?
Okay. All right. So,
those are my Shell Ridge arguments.
okay. No, and you have another 2 minutes, but if you're done, that's fine. We can move on. It's whatever your choice.
Do you have anything to add?
That's fine. We'll say the 2 minutes or give them up, whichever.
Okay. All right. So now, Ray, you get, of course, your 2 minutes to cross-examine and your 2 minutes for rebuttal.
Hey, the comparison of the $106 per square foot and the $86 per square foot on a 1,500 square foot home to a 3,000 square foot home is the it's the economy of size, or the economy of scale and size. It's the larger something is, the price per square foot drops. The smaller something is, then the price per square foot is increased.
Oh my heavens. Okay.
That's a very typical thing. When if you were to have a contractor build you a house, they're gonna charge you different. They're gonna charge you different amounts based on the square footage that you decide to build per square foot. Because it's not feasible if they build a house for 3,000 square feet and they charge someone $100 a square foot, and then someone says, hey, I want a 900 square foot house. They're not going to charge them the same amount per square foot because the build is so much different. Sometimes there's difference in square footage values based on class, and effective age can also change that. I would like to look at the land value on 27930. It looks very similar on Picto. Hold on, let me take a look here. 27930. And what's the overall square footage of the whole thing? It is 0.3536 acres. Okay, and the value is 231,150. Is that right? And then what is the value? What is Mr. and Mrs. Nash?
239,950. Oops.
Let's see. Land. Their land is actually slightly smaller, right? And their value is 227. Is that correct? Is all that correct? Let me make sure. Is that what the card says?
Yeah, our sheet says 227,150 as far as for the Nashes.
For the land.
Yes.
And then the land on the one that was comp that Miss Nash was talking about is actually a little bit bigger, and its value was 231. Is that right?
Yes, I want to say something. I know I'm supposed to stop it. But there's an adjustment already in here. Apparently, when it was being worked, is that it's already gone down. The land has gone from 239,950 to 227,150 is already in the account.
For 2020?
Yes, that's correct. There's a supplement already on it.
There's already a supplement on it?
Yes. There probably was an offer made. That's
What was the notice value of the land?
the notice value of the land was 239,950.
239, whatever, just 239. Okay. And then while we're sitting here talking, we're looking at a value of the land at 227,150.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so what was the overall notice value then, Scott? What was the
Overall notice was 414,320. The value we're at right now is 401,520.
Say that again.
Okay.
401,520.
Okay. So so I guess my opinion would be to to change the land value of the Mr. and Mrs. Nash's property on Shell Ridge Road to be similar to the piece of property that she mentioned. I don't see any reason for those two land values to be that much different. Their land is technically better because you have that, it's so much more accessible with that Sand Fiddler Road, with it being a corner lot. But anyways, the value that I would have is 401,320. That would correct the land value to the one that 930. That's all I have.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know.
That's your turn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so now at this point, for Charles and Elizabeth?
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh, got it. I got your name. Okay. So for you now, you get 2 minutes to rebut.
So what is the land value?
So tell me what my land value is going to be. I'm confused.
227.
Well,
And that is with the 183,750. And how much are you pricing my water view for?
Well, at this point, Ms. Nash, I'm not discussing the details of water view versus waterfront. That we really don't have the time to do that. I'm just trying to arrive at a value. So I'm basically just going to the value of the property that you brought up. I'm just saying.
No, I agree. I'm just trying to find out. So are you pricing mine the same as his? I'm trying to get.
That's what I'm saying to do for right now
Okay.
is to just make it equal. Yeah.
Okay. I understand that. I wasn't sure. I'm just.
I think the only thing we respectfully disagree with the appraiser about is the cost of the house. I mean, I can assure you that bigger is not better in terms of building cost. And we feel like that it's unequal, that just because we're 1,500 square feet and the other house is whatever, 3,000, that it ought to be apples to apples. We all know Al Johnson and we all know Ethan Wells, and I can assure you their cost per square foot is going to be the same whether you're building a 1,500 square foot house or a 3,000 square foot house.
And I didn't pull any comps from Bay Vista square footage because those houses are all about 1,500. So I should have done that. I was just shocked to know that somebody with much better construction than I had was paying less than I am.
Yeah.
My house is still wobbling. They didn't just, FEMA wouldn't let me, or the people didn't declare it a disaster, but the others are concrete and stable and had no damage.
all right. Okay, so.
I really beg to differ on that thing. I think we're out of the ballpark.
Okay.
Okay, so now, Ray, you get 1 minute for your closing.
Okay, yeah. So all across the state, homes are valued by square foot and land is valued by square foot on a scale where the less you have, even in acreage, if you're going to buy 10 acres versus 100, whoever buys 100 acres should pay less than the person who pays 10 acres given the same environment per acre.
We respect.
No, listen.
Oh, never mind.
It's not true.
You can disagree. That's it's the same thing as it's the same thing as when you go buy a dozen eggs and a half a dozen eggs, it's more per egg for the half a dozen than it is for the dozen. It's like that with medicine. It's just like that in general in life. But you could be correct in your statement that Al Johnson or Ethan Wells is gonna just say, this is what we build and this is how much I charge a square foot. They can kind of get away with it because they charge an abnormal amount per square foot anyways.
I'll tell them you said that.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I'm not, this is actually all open to the public and I would say that. It's a lot of money to build down here you're talking, they're charging $235 to $250 a square foot to build a home.
Okay.
So when you're charging that kind of money, you don't have to be as detailed. Whereas in a competitive area, like maybe Al Hogan, he might be more detailed in his price per square foot.
Okay.
So
So Ray, you've run out of your closing.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now it's time, y'all get 1 minute for your closing.
Us?
Yes, the Nashes, yay.
Okay, well, unfortunately, I didn't price other 1,500 square foot houses in the area. And I wish I had now because I don't have time to look through everything, but I still disagree. So that's all I can say. I don't know if I have another chance to do anything on it, to do more homework, in other words.
Okay, and is that all you had to say?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So now the appraisal review board, we get 5 minutes in which we get to discuss and come up with our final answer amongst ourselves. Okay?
I have a question for Ray. Could you bring the card up, please?
Yeah. Class.
Ray?
yeah, we're working on it. We're getting there.
Are you looking at the class, Charlie?
No, I'm looking at the land.
Okay.
What I'm confused about is it on the card,
Okay.
it's already 222, 150.
Charlie, the appraiser that did this work should have changed all these values back to notice values. So that what you would be looking at is I think 239-ish, but they didn't. They left it all in the account. They're not supposed to.
Okay, because if you take the $8 and the 75% adjustment, you end up with the same $6 per square foot.
Okay. And at 220, it comes out to 227?
222, 150.
There you go. That's the number then. The account's not supposed to look like this when you see it. You're supposed to see it as it was at notice value.
And the notice, what was the total notice value?
414,320.
Okay, so taking it back to $6 a square foot brings it back to 401,520, which is what we have on our sheet.
That's what's on our sheet, Ray, that we're looking at.
Yeah,
Right.
I see the land at 227, 150, not 222.
yeah, I don't know how else to tell you guys this. You
Yeah,
hit
you're right.
me on this. It's not supposed to look like that. It's as if we already made the adjustments, in the future.
Right.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
So, okay, wait. So Charlie, and I'm sorry. So actually, their value wasn't 401,520. What was it supposed to read, Ray?
414,320.
Okay, I didn't ever know that. All right, great.
No.
So it's good to know that that's what we're working off of.
So 401,520 takes
No,
into
320.
consideration the change from $8 to $6 a square foot for the view lot part of the lot.
Yes, but it was 401,320. But regardless, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ray said 401,320, I believe.
Yes, that's what I've got. And
That's fine.
And then the other thing, I mean, and I'm just, the class, because, they were talking about the type of homes comparatively, but this is a 4FB. So there's a pretty good span.
Okay, I'm good with 401.
320.
Period.
Okay, so on account number 61156, taking into consideration what we've heard from the appraisal district, also the property owners, and taking into consideration the possibility of incorrect appraised market value and the possibility of the appraisal ratio exceeding the median level of appraisal for 2020 on account 61156, I make a motion that we lower the total valuation on the property to $401,320.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that hearing is closed.
All right.
Now go to.
And Nash's, if you would please.
Wait, Cindy, we have another one. They have two.
Oh, got it. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
871.
Cindy was getting rid of us.
Hey, Charles,
Yes.
just FYI, back to the appraiser, which is, this is fine. We're not going any farther with it, but the, Al Hogan's more, and he's a great friend too, but he's more of a track home builder as opposed to a custom builder. Now, he may not agree with that, but I mean, that's generally what he's done. So I think the appraiser using Al as an example is not an apples to apples from a custom home standpoint. But just to get my final shot in.
I understand.
And I like all three of them.
And he didn't build that house.
Okay.
He didn't build our house.
Opening hearing on case ID 2020-871, account 27939. We'll skip down to ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 4166F. I am signing to that effect, and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another individual in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I am signing to that effect, and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
James Val Smith, I'm a notary public. I'm witnessing Mr. Powers, Ms. Hoffman, and Ms. Duck's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear affirming the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District.
Once again, the Nashes understand that you're under oath as you sign the affidavit.
We do.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All righty. Who do you want to go first?
Let's let the district go, just like we did. We'll keep it in order.
Okay. Right.
Okay, I believe this is Q1, Q2, the incorrect appraised market value and exceeds median level of appraisal. This home is located on Bay Vista, which is the road that runs parallel to Shell Ridge Road. It's a dirt road that runs right behind Shell Ridge Road. And hopefully you guys can see that right there. We have a market value of $299,190 on this house. And the sales grid, let's take a look here. We have a sale on Bay Vista in May of 19 for $325, and another sale on Bay Vista in March of 20. Both of those comp out at an indicated value. One's at 336 and one's at 327. Let's look at what else we have on sales here. We have a sale on Shell Ridge Road. It's kind of a monstrosity. Sold for $547. Huge land value difference there because of the waterfront attribute, but it's in the same area. The two sales, comp 1 and 2, I'll talk about this for a second here. These sales were a problem for the appraisal district this past year, so we raised all the values based off of these two sales in this general area. That's just mass appraisal for you. That these things happened. We never had thought that they were worth that much, and then they sell. And you'll notice when stuff like this happens, you'll notice that the median value from a sales approach is 327, and our market value on the subject property is 299. There's a huge difference there of, well, I mean, not huge. There's a $28,000 difference there. And it seems like we're very, very low on the property. But the issue with that is this kind of stuff happens when sales happen that are drastically different, or sales happen in an area where you don't normally get reported sales. Those things can create a big gap. The equity approach to value here, my screen is on the fritz. Let me see if it's gonna, here we go. Okay, equity 296, is that what that says? Let me see, 296. So this is a real good snapshot, and these are on Bay Vista. These comps are on Bay Vista. There are 4s. This is a very good snapshot of exactly what I'm talking about. You see a sales approach to value and it's 320 something. And then you look at the equity approach to value and it's 296. And we're actually $3,000 high on the subject property. Why does stuff like that happen? It happens when, exactly like I just said, either things sell real quick, higher than we think they're worth, or sales happen in an area where we haven't got activity in years, or maybe just onesie twosies here and there, and we just never had data to move on. And so now we have adjusted, and you can see that the equity is saying one thing and the sales is saying another thing. So that's all I got.
I just got a message from one of our board members that said the transformer just blew on their street and there's no electric. That's Cindy Duck. So
We still have a quorum, though, right?
right.
We still have a
But
quorum.
I'm assuming she's not on the video.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Val.
You know, I'm confused, Ray. You gave a different value, a noted value. I have 289,500. Is that what you said?
Dadgummit, is this the same?
Yeah, it's the same deal. Our
So this is going to be the same thing. The appraiser that did this did not change the values back prior to the hearing. So we're going to have to say, what was the notice value? Let's get that number.
All right.
299.
299.
190.
There you go. So that the noticed value, which is the value under protest, is 299. I apologize. I don't like this kind of stuff happening because we're already on Zoom. We're already dealing with a bunch of nonsense, and now we're dealing with numbers issues. But the notice that the Nash family received in the mail was at 299.
299, 190, or 299 even?
299, 190. You know, Kathy, I don't ever deal with the last three numbers.
It's on your
I know.
screen.
I just want to have them down correctly. So
Yeah, I got you.
So thank you for straightening that out, because we're looking at 289,500.
I'm sorry. So let me say something about that real quick. The median value that I said of 296, which is in the grid, that's fine. The 289 number is also fine. I'm not concerned at all about that.
So you're suggesting that 289.5 would be okay?
I'm suggesting that I don't care.
Well,
I don't care about you know what I mean, that we've got this number in the account. I'm not about to say, no, it's 296 while 289 is sitting in the account. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's okay. We got it.
Okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Nash, are you okay with that number?
Well, can I just, I mean, I don't know yet.
We like it better than 299.
I like it a whole lot better than 299. Yes, ma'am. But can I go through my thing?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
it's same story, second verse on this property. I kind of, and I do thank you for mentioning we are on a dirt road. And anyway, I did some comps. My 1,524 square foot house, small again, is priced at $139 a square foot. My neighbor's next door is 75, and the one on the other side is 106 a square foot. So I'm trying to figure out why I'm at 139. That's the same house. Nothing's changed to that house, period, as in the other small house in the front.
Ms. Nash, help me know, when you say neighbors, do you mean literally on one side of you and the other side of you?
Okay, I have the property number for the first comp is 27938, which would be right there. And
right next door?
Yes, yes. And then the property, the other one that's 1,534 square feet that was, 10 larger than mine was 48834. And they're at 106.
Okay.
48834 is their code.
Okay.
So that's a closer square footage to my house.
Yes, ma'am. Whenever you're done, whenever you're kind of wrapped up, we'll look at both of those accounts.
Anyway, and so that's one question. The second is, again, the property, the land. My land is, let me see, whatever it was, 87, well, I don't know. It was at 720 a square foot, and tribe 27938, again, next door to me, is at $6.40 a square foot.
27938. Okay, same that this 27938. We can look at the land in. On
Yeah,
that.
we have the same property. And
Yeah.
then the other thing that I thought was interesting is when I visited with Jackie, because I said, how did I go from 143 last year to 211, which I thought was a significant jump in my market value of my home, of improvements. And she said, well, you were only at 80% of your value, so we took it up to 100. And then she sent me all these documents and said, I was mistaken. I was wrong on this one. I was at 100% last year. They already increased me 100%. So I did in 2019 pay for that. I mean, I should be around that value is what I'm saying. I think 211 from that jump was way too much.
Okay.
I also priced property behind, the Shell Ridge settlement, and we all know what's happening at the end of Shell Ridge, how she's taken over all the wetlands and made more land and all that. Well, the 20 acres that's behind us that is valued at $100,000, so that's $5,000 an acre. Now all of these houses at the back of Bay Vista have fence posts. And all of the giant 18-wheelers in concrete, they're all using that as an exit, a road down the back of the houses. So I assume pretty soon there's going to be some sort of a fence all along here because they're big posts. And it's so I'm just saying apples to apples, A lot of development is going on there on an undeveloped whatever you got that priced, 24573 is that property. And that's just undeveloped land, but it is being used. So, and it's all running along the back of Bay Vista right behind all of our houses. Every single person there is getting major trucks going through. And they all have fence posts that have been put up. So the value of the land, seeing everything behind, is probably going to go away. Just to keep that in consideration when you say we need to up the value there. They may be looking at a fence post. Someone should drive down and see what's. But thank you. Those are my arguments. We do have the dirt road. It isn't well maintained, and I think that area has been that way. But and the values have been that way because of that.
Is that all you have?
Yes, sir.
Kathy? Do you know where we are?
Oh, Cindy.
Cindy's not here.
I realize nobody's keeping time.
Is she gonna be on the phone, maybe?
Oh, I didn't know she was gone. I wasn't keeping time.
Cindy has lost power to her house, apparently.
It's okay.
Oh, I didn't hear that. So I have no idea where we are.
We're at
I
district.
can guess that we're probably at,
District cross-examine.
just to cross-examine. Let me get my forms out.
Ray, you have 4 minutes.
Yes, sir. All right, so here we go. Let's take a second to look at 27938, land value and improvement value. Let me take a look here.
I didn't hear that.
96, and their value is 87, so they have. I'm not worried about that, just the value is 96. And, okay. And then check their, let me see their card. I just want to see the card in this account, actually. Okay, so 27938. The differences here are gonna be, there's a difference in square footage value that Mr. Nash were talking about. Let me get to their card here. And the home is, there's a downstairs portion. So it's about, what is that, 1,900 or so square feet, almost 2,000 square feet. And so this one, it also has an MAA in the back. Yeah. So some of the issue on this account is that downstairs portion is gonna have a less per square foot than the MA, the main area. So it's going to create a different look on the square footage because of that value is different. The same way that like a downstairs is more valuable per square foot than an upstairs. There's just a change in values there. It has to do with, like, if you add on to a house, then the square footage of that add-on shouldn't be valued the same as the value of the main area. So when we value something, we're itemizing it out. Porches, main area, upstairs, downstairs, all of it. We're itemizing it out to get a price per square foot. Most people are just taking the improvement value and dividing that number by the square footage, which is okay. That's a quick and dirty way to do it. It's fine, but it isn't going to be detailed. And so we're going to be a little bit more detailed than that. And it's definitely going to create this problem. We have the land value on that one at 96,000, and we have your land value at 87,000. So, I don't know what to say about that. Whether or not your value should be lower. I don't know. It looks like they're pretty close to the same thing, and in fact, theirs is a little bit less. All the stuff about the settlement behind and to the southern part of this road, we know about it, and we have not formed an opinion about it yet. We really don't know exactly what they're doing or who they are or how much they plan on doing. But they not only are they developing the south end of the road and doing something to the west, but we believe that those same people have actually been one of the purchasers of one of these houses that we comped.
All of them.
Oh, okay, there you go. We're not hiding. I mean, we agree to the point of like we're smelling something funny here, but we don't know what to think about it. And unfortunately, we will be the last to know, unless someone is really upfront with us, which is super rare. We will find out from another homeowner like yourself who comes in and tells us everything. We won't be able to figure out what they're doing because, it's just how it is in this business for us.
Okay, Ray, your time is up.
Okay.
The Nash is now, if I'm correct, I just picked this up not knowing Cindy was gone.
2 minutes for
Protest
rebuttal.
rebuttal for 2 minutes, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, the Nashes, you have 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm still wanting my property to be the same $6.40 a square foot as my neighbor on my land.
Okay.
And I sent you a comp of 48834 was the house similar square footage as mine, and they're at 106.44, and I'm at 139.
He's got a gripe.
Okay, is that all you want to say?
Well, I'm apples to apples. That's all I'm asking. Nothing more.
What can Ms. Nash tell me that PID again?
48834. I found one with very close square footage as mine.
Yeah, I got you. Let me look at it. So what is, it's just difference in depreciation. So that is a 1984 home, and theirs is a what? Theirs is it's just 10 years of depreciation. So here's how this would work from my opinion. My opinion would be that I would not agree with the difference in square footage because I think that the depreciation is just different. But I do agree with the land, which would be the land portion of this would go to 77,000 even. So whatever 77,000 is plus the improvement value of that was noticed would be my opinion of value.
So the fact that she took me at such a great increase on my home, which nothing has changed, nothing, took me to 100% last year, where a lot of people weren't taken to 100% last year, and now I've gone to 211.90 for my improvements.
Yes, ma'am.
I just really have a hard time with that.
I understand. I forgot to answer that. I don't know if you know this or not, or if you guys talked about this. We added 150% or 50% to, we add or multiply 50% to your improvement value, 1.5. So we're taking your value, whatever that number spits out, which is actually I'm not seeing the real number because of the way this was done, but like 140 something. And then we're multiplying that times 1.5 to get 211. And we're doing that because of those two sales.
Did you do that to every single person on that street?
Every single person. And we did it to every single person. It's really 3 sales. There's the sale on Shell Ridge Road and the 2 sales on Bay Vista. We did it because of that.
Well, you can't
Okay, Mrs. Nash, that was a district closing. You have 1 minute for closing.
Okay, you cannot compare Bay Vista with Shell Ridge. Bay Vista is Bay Vista, unpaved, no water. I mean, it is, you cannot compare the 2 streets. There's no question. The pavement stops when you get to Bay Vista. So I really think that all appraisals should be done in their same street. Thank you.
Okay, the appraisal review board now has 5 minutes to discuss.
Ray, I'm having trouble with the card again.
Yes, sir.
The card shows 141,320 for the adjusted value of the improvements. You took 150% of that, right?
Yes, that's
how we got to the 211.
That's how you get the 211, right?
correct. That is correct.
Okay, now, if I look at the land,
Yes.
it shows a market value of 87. but on our sheet, you know what I mean,
Yes,
page we're given, it says 77,520.
same thing as before. What you should be looking at is 87,210.
What he's saying, Charlie, is what we're not seeing is that the value that Ray is seeing is 299,190. What we're looking at is 289,500.
Yeah. Okay.
And
now-
I said earlier, and Ray had said earlier, that he was willing to go back to that value, which I would be comfortable with.
back to
Well, to actually what is noted on the sheet, which is 10,000 and some odd, whatever, less than the noted value. And that brings it down below the market and equity levels that were noted.
and it brings it to what's on the sheet, our sheet of 289,500.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Robert, is Robert here?
Yeah, I'm good with that. In fact, Ray adjusted the land down another $500. I would say just make it 289 even.
All right.
All right. On account 27939, and addressing the incorrect appraised market value and appraisal ratio exceeding median level of appraisal. The ARB recommends that we lower the price to 289,000.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The Nashes are done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
I might have misheard something. Someone said 150% and then 1.5%, and then someone else said 50%. So can you tell me what the correct, what they did everybody on Bay Vista? What was the percentage?
It's 150% to all of the improvement values for every property on Vegas.
150%. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming in.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.
Our
Okay.
next case is by phone, and it is case 1503, Mr. Trevino.
Okay. Do we have any more 10 o'clocks waiting?
No, this will be the last one.
Okay. Just didn't want to mess up the 2 hours.
This is the last one for this morning. Is that what she's saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Bring in Mr. Trevino. You might want to take down what's on the screen.
Yes, thank you. Can you turn that off?
Sorry.
I thought I was going to lose my power a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I did too. It was really pouring.
Yeah, I have a Generac that was about to come on.
Hello?
I think the storm is past.
Mr. Trevino,
Yes, sir.
this is Charlie Powers, Appraisal Review Board.
Yes, sir.
We have some administrative things to go through before we get started. If you just follow along with me, I have a couple of questions that will come up
Yes.
during the script. We're opening
Okay.
the hearing on case ID 2020-1503, account 66873. This hearing is being recorded.
Okay.
And the people on the panel today are Kathy Hoffman, Robert Dayton, and myself, Charles Powers.
Okay.
Two of us are by Zoom. Robert is in the conference room. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The comptroller's office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today that may be accessed at the appraisal district office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. Survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate you taking it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Mr. Trevino, I have to ask you, do we have all of your evidence?
Yes.
Very good, sir. Thank you. ARB members who are considering a protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I am signing to that effect, and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name is Carl Smith. I'm a notary public. I'm witnessing Mr. Powers and Ms. Hoffman's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true. Correct.
Mr. Trevino, as you signed the affidavit, but I am going to assume that you are under oath for the duration of this hearing. Do you understand?
I completely understand, sir. Yes.
Thank you very much. Do you have an appraiser's license in the state of Texas?
No.
Okay. Do you have handy the time limits page, the hearing procedure times chart that came with your package?
Yeah, it's in the package somewhere. Yeah, I do have it.
Okay. You remember what it looked like, right?
Kinda. Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll walk you through it. Kathy is very good at keeping you on track. So we'll walk you through it as we go. Now,
thank you.
The first choice you have to make is, do you speak first, or does the district speak first?
Y'all can talk first. That's fine.
Okay, Ray, you have 5 minutes.
Okay, Mr. Trevino, can I ask you a couple of questions real quick before I present evidence?
Yes.
Okay, first question is the property for sale?
No.
Second question is, what do you plan on doing with the property?
I'm not too sure yet. Undecided.
Okay. Did you buy it or how did you end up with it?
It was a sentimental gift from my parents.
Okay. And you live in San Antonio, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you happen to use the property so that you can have a boat ramp?
No.
Okay. The next thing is, do you have an opinion of value?
Yeah, my opinion, yes.
What is it?
Roughly, probably about $2,500. $2,500.
I agree with the owner.
Okay, $2,500 it is.
All right.
Kathy?
You're comfortable with that, Mr. Trevino?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would be okay with that. May I share?
I'm sorry?
May I share?
Sure.
Yeah. I guess some of my points that I kind of just looking at the package, and of course, if you look at some of that information, there's no improvements that have been done on it, and I do get solicitations out here. How those postcards come. Let's see. I think I got like 3 different offers. One like $800, another one for like $1,000. I think the highest was like 1,200. And so, those are
okay. So we're suggesting that we're comfortable lowering the price to 2,500.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. On account 66873 and addressing incorrect appraised market value. ARB, having listened to the property owner and the district, will reduce the noted value on the property to 2,500.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go, Mr.
Aye.
Trevino, 2,500.
Okay.
Thank
Is that
you.
it?
That's
Okay,
it.
thank you, sir.
Yes. All right. Y'all stay safe over there. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's it,
Okay, we'll reconvene at 1:30.
1:30. See you.
Okay. We'll see you then.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Okay.